Think about all the creativity that people are consuming in the world right now. A new film or TV series, a song or an album, a podcast or a book, you get the idea. But how often does everyone think about the people behind the creative work? How often is the world thinking about you and your livelihood as a creator? Hi, I'm Steve, and I've created Futureative to tackle this one problem: how will creative people build sustainable careers in the future? In this video, I'm breaking down one of the reasons I think it's so hard to build a creative career in the 21st century. Yes, still. And I'm going to give you a few things that I think we can all do to make progress on this problem ourselves, while also helping our fellow creators along the way. The best parts of our world are fueled by creative people. We are learning from other creatives, we're being entertained by creatives, we have endless access to the world's creativity literally in our palm. And of course, some of this is your own creative work that you've shared with the world. I think we can agree that creativity is important, but are we creatives being rewarded for our efforts? As a society, we seem to be spending more time assuming creative people can't earn enough and don't spend enough time thinking about how to change that. If the world is fueled by creativity, why is it so hard to make a career in this area? Everybody is constantly looking for that new experience that means something to them. We only get to experience creative work because somebody, against all odds, decided to make a thing for us. Yet we're still here, struggling to make names for ourselves as creative people and bring in enough income to sustain what we make. How many times have you had that conversation where someone asks, "How's that going for you?" Or "Have you had to get a real job yet?" And you're thinking, this is a real job in a real industry with more value and impact and meaning and importance to society than any other industry or career choice. Yeah, I said it and I mean it. We might not provide food or water or electricity or save lives, I get it. But instead, we provide culture and social cohesion and health and wellness outcomes and education outcomes and significant economic impact. And that's just the stuff we can measure. So how is a happier, healthier, more productive, and more prosperous society not of more value to the world? I think it's because the systems that we've built over the last century to reward creative people for their contribution to society are broken. In Australia, for example, the creative economy provides employment to 714,632 people as of the 2021 census. Yet, most people who make things, artists and performers and writers, etc., earn well below minimum wage if they're lucky. And that's not the fault of the artist or the production crew or the management team, that's a broken system. We're talking about a $122 billion industry here in Australia, an industry that globally is predicted to be 10% of global GDP in the 2030s. We're not talking about a lack of talent. We are talking about people being stuck in one of the most critical emerging economies in a broken system. That's a system where protections and supports and governments and education and skills are clearly not working as they should be. I'm talking about this because of timing. We're at the beginning of the biggest change our world has seen this century. We're on the horizon of a whole range of jobs vanishing. It's not just creativity that is under threat. Everyone's kind of asking themselves, what will my contribution be? And after a couple of decades researching, teaching, and working across the creative industries, I really think this is the biggest fork in the road moment I've ever seen. And will we let human creativity be replaced by algorithmic predictions? Because that's honestly what AI is. Or will we finally create an economic system that can support innovation and art and connection and culture and health and learning, and of course, new economies and all of these things that the creative industries makes? Will we create a world where actual humans are the champions of creativity, or will we let AI replace the stuff that is most important to us? The world feels like it's pushing us to think less, create less, do less. And I think we need to push back, to educate ourselves, to think for ourselves, to create no matter what. Because right now, frankly, without significant change, it's difficult to imagine things are going to get better overall for creative people over the next decade. For people who want to use creative skills and turn that into a career, we need to really come together and start having some conversations about how to make that happen. And it's good timing because the world is sort of paying attention right now. And I think creative people have never really been prioritized. We've never been the ones who have held the most money or power or influence. And so it's been hard over this time to come together and push for change. But right now, we actually get to ask society, do you want creative work made by real people? Do you want actual musicians in the venue performing the show? Do you want that talented new director and their human crew to create the film? Do you want to watch a theatre show performed by actors or by holograms? It's like a ridiculous thing to be asking in 2026 with all of the knowledge and the resources we have. But I genuinely have to pose these questions. Do we want a future where creative people can make a living and then contribute creative work to society? Do we want a future where creative work is made by humans? I think there's always kind of been this disconnect between how much society values creative work and how little it values creative workers. And now with tech companies pilfering creatives' hard-won skills and insights and processes and intellectual property and not paying for it, and then feeding it back to people so that they can pay for it in the form of software, we need to be really careful about where we're heading. Because to put it simply, I think creativity is valued, but I think creatives are not. So what do we do about this? I know there are incredible people, organizations, and educators working tirelessly and fearlessly at this problem every day. It's not like people aren't busy trying to solve this problem that I'm talking about. And that's part of what we're working on here at Futureative, to find those people who have real-world lessons and insights and bring them under one roof for you at our online conferences that'll come up soon. But I still fear that too much of what is being done is either supporting the way that creativity used to exist in the world, or isn't organized enough to create the opportunities for people to enter and grow in the industry long term. I think too much of what we're doing are small initiatives that chip away at the problem. But now is a time to completely reimagine a future where anyone who calls themselves a creative person can choose that future if they want. We have the technology, the tools, and we're getting closer day by day to potentially having the economic conditions. So we need to start coming together now and having more conversations, find ways to get louder, find ways to have more influence on the creative industries itself. So people inside the creative industries and outside can pause and take note that creative people want a seat at the table. And without that, everyone in society loses. Now, this is very much blue sky thinking. And at the start of the video, I promised some practical things that I think we can all do starting today. I do believe it starts with us. We can't change everything on our own, but we can begin. And it starts with grassroots initiatives. It's the reason why I'm launching this new brand and channel, Futureative. We're focusing on our next few years on bringing the best creative minds together at our online conferences. Hopefully you'll join us. We're going to tackle real world problems that every creative person faces. But it starts with all of us on a daily basis. It starts with the culture we create. I think we need to support each other more, see each other not as competition, but understand that the more people that upskill and improve their craft, that produce, that promote, build audiences and have success, the more the overall creative economy grows, the more legitimate it is as an industry and as a career path. If we want others to take us seriously, we have to take ourselves and our work seriously first, and that's a job for every creative person. Then it's about how we come together, because if we can come together and collaborate more, we can campaign for better pathways, for better funding. We need to learn from each other and not accidentally find ourselves taking all our knowledge from AI. And this one is especially important because AI and learning from AI has its place, but it's not a replacement for real-world human insight. And finally, I think we need to embrace a new mindset, one where we learn and consider the technology and tools available to us and see how they can help. We also need to stop selling ourselves short, thinking these are the only options. Distribution platforms, for example, only exist because people use them. So if we want to make them better, we need to find ways to push them to make them better for us or find other alternatives. My point is that the status quo can change, and if we sit around assuming that it can't, then we're just going to kind of sleepwalk into a future where creativity is slowly, increasingly more and more devalued. Or we find a way to come together, learn from each other, and work out what we need to campaign for to build a better creative future that everyone can be a part of. These are just a few early ideas. I don't have all the answers. If I did, this would be a very different video. These are just some ideas I have after a couple of decades working in the industry and still kind of honestly searching for an answer to that question: how will creatives build careers in the future? And it's something I hope to answer for all of us by launching Futureative. I hope that over the coming years, I actually become a quieter voice on this channel and instead start being able to feature more insights from artists and arts workers who really drive the industry, and maybe can be the main feature here, with real tangible solutions based on their real world experience. But to get there, I need your help. We need to start something. I need a reason to build our events. I need people to attend them. I need participation. I need people with experience willing to speak. I'm going to need the support of media and sponsors to back us. My point is, this video is seeing if anybody out there is interested in the same things I am, because I want to try to build something for us and build something together. This is day one of a new journey on a mission to build a more creative future for everyone. So anyone who calls themselves a creative person can wake up and be a creative person. I don't know if we'll achieve it in my lifetime, but this is why Futureative exists. And I really hope you'll join me on that journey if the same mission matters to you. And I hope you'll let people know we're here. Let people know we're building this as creatives ourselves. We're a 100% creative team making something to help inspire and educate other future creatives like you. We're putting a focus on Australian creators and our local industry too, being based here in Melbourne. Regardless of the stage of journey, beginner to mid-career, everyone in between and either side, everyone is navigating the same obstacles now. And regardless of discipline, the creative industries are so siloed. So yeah, musicians and filmmakers and photographers and authors, all welcome. But also people building creative brands, if you're a content creator or a podcaster or an educator, and institutions, people building labels and production houses and festivals and events. I know it's broad, but we really need to bring different creative minds together. Anyone who considers themselves a creative person or who works in the creative economy, we need to come together now to have discussions, learn from each other. We need a meeting place, a place to come together, to share ideas, lessons, and real insight, to navigate the future of creativity together, not alone, together. Because it's going to be hard, and the only thing that will make it harder is if we all do it alone. So if this resonated with you, I'd be thrilled if you could tag a friend or let someone just know that we're here. I hope to see you as part of the Futureative community. Now let's go be creative, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters.